This large Art Deco betting facility is the host for today's exploration. Towering over the surrounding urban area, the building is suffering from long-term neglect. Another factor for the structure's demise is vandalism, particularly just over a year ago when a huge-scale fire broke out across one half of the listed property, resulting in major damage inside. Mainly, we visited this site a few months ago because of what lies beneath, an expansive World War II bunker facility with some of the most interesting remnants we have seen so far. The gigantic blaze took over the vacant building just over 12 months ago, destroying the upper floor and roof of roughly a third of the structure. Due to the iconic nature of the facility that had been closed since the early 2000s, the fire made national news and was devastating to the local people that had once seen the site thrive.
Survey. There's now a second investigation underway, one that's being conducted by police. Earlier I was told that the blaze broke out in two separate parts of this building simultaneously, and police are treating this incident as one of arson. They're asking anyone who has any information to come forward and tell them.
After a full night of hard work from the firefighters, the blaze was eventually damped. However, the damage had already been done. What had always been a landmark structure had been blackened by ashes. Months later, we were inspecting the colossal facility that we had attempted prior to the fire, but this time it seemed we were destined to get in. On our previous visit, we had to abandon the infiltration after we set off a loud alarm that commanded us to leave the site before authorities were called. Luckily, the alarms were off today as the outside of the structure was being sealed up tight. We hoped we would still manage to find a way inside. Once we gained access to the betting house, we were amazed by the sizable halls and the controlling decay. The large skylights were allowing moss to form over the empty tiled floor. You might be positive that the structure was a factory of some sort, but actually it had a much more unique use. It was designed and constructed in the late 1930s for football betting. Inside these giant spaces would have been the hundreds and hundreds of printing presses that would have functioned to create the small coupons, one of which would have the winning scores on. Unfortunately, none of the machinery or anything in fact remains in the building, which was stripped shortly after it was closed. The reason for this was the ongoing battle with other lottery services that were swiftly becoming more popular. These alternate companies were able to do sports bets as well as countless others, so it was only a matter of time before this site lost ground, although it was influential throughout its period. At one time, the structure was two separate long wings with an outside space in between. This curved room we are in now joined together the main warehouses and features some beautiful architecture. As we were getting closer to where the fire begun, it is very sad that it happened when it did. A multi-million investment had gone into place for the massive building of dereliction to be transformed into a film studio. It appeared that construction work was going into order until the disaster. Following it, not much has gone on, so it has been a crucial setback. Now we had made it to the room where the fire started, we are stunned at how severe the damage really is. Nothing is left apart from the beams and brick walls, so we are careful where we walk, even though we don't go far before realising it's simply too unsafe. It was surreal moving from one half of the site, which is cleanly decaying, to the other identical half that's been destroyed by arson, left in a state of disrepair. With every large functioning business that ran through World War II, an area shelter was created at the beginning of 1939 to protect the mass of employees from the nightly bombing during the years. Although the tight corridors and bumpy floor isn't too photogenic, it was very important for this exploration that we came down here, as we were aware of some of the incredible details that survived to this day. There was only one way we could have got down, as every proper entrance to the shelter was sealed up tight. In some cases, the material around the entry had collapsed, pouring into the bunker. Walking through the silent unit with only torchlight was an experience you can only have from urban exploration. The only sounds we could hear was the faint dripping of water and our own breathing. Soon enough we made it to what we had been searching for. We had never seen anything like this before. Treasured beneath ground level are these historic series of portraits of men and women who survived down here during the war. Corridors are filled with them, and you almost feel like you're being watched as you move past, trying to imagine the circumstances when these were drawn. Due to the repetitive artistic style, we assume that one of the survivors was an artist and may have requested to draw people in the shelter for entertainment in the long hours they would have spent down here. This is one of those historic sites that we couldn't bear to see vandalised. The fact that these portraits have stayed untouched in the bunker is unbelievable, and we hope they are preserved somehow. Following our sighting of the artwork, it was time to head out to leave the timeless abandonment to itself once more. Next time. Away from the cloudy, cold weather of the UK, in the next episode we are exploring a beautiful asylum in Italy in 30+ degrees. There is a lot to see in the site with over 20 buildings. Thanks for watching our latest release. Remember to check out our website in the description to see reports of places we have visited months before they are posted to YouTube. See you next time.